This is Peter Marzano, and welcome to your October 4th, 2014 edition of the Dorm Report. And today left me saying wow in many ways, and this week, especially in college football, left me saying wow. But before we talk about college football, I'm going to go in order for my recap, so I'm going to begin to talk about baseball first. The big story of the day, even in all of sports, putting aside college football, is the Giants-Nationals game. I could watch that game over and over again. I watched every pitch of the 18-inning game, and it was a crazy game, to say the least. Now you're looking at two masterpieces that were pitched in this game. Tim Hudson, insane for the Giants. He last 7 1/3. Jordan Zimmerman retired 20 consecutive Giants batters, lasted 8 2/3, and then Giants stormed back with nobody on and 2 down in the ninth. Then once it got into extra innings, you're looking at Yusmeiro Petit giving you 6 scoreless innings in relief. Brandon Belt with the solo shot in the top of the 18th inning is decisive for the San Francisco Giants to take a 2-1 victory and a 2-0 series lead going back home to San Francisco. So this is basically huge for them. It gives them an opportunity to be able to close out the series at home, beating the heavily favored Nationals twice in 2 days in Washington, D.C. That game was incredible, and I think the number one thing you saw from there was just persistence from the San Francisco Giants. And persistence for both teams. A really long game. We're looking at, you think about a lot of opportunities. That really wasn't the case. It was just a really well-pitched game by both sides. But in the end, Brandon Belt found a bad pitch from Tanner Roark, and that ended up being the difference. Cardinals and Dodgers gave you another exciting one-run game, but this time it favored the boys from the City of Angels. Los Angeles, after giving up a 2-0 lead, thanks to Matt Carpenter, who has been the man for St. Louis so far. You saw in the bottom of the 8th inning, Matt Kemp, make no mistake, comes through and hits a solo shot to give the Los Angeles Dodgers the lead and ended up giving them the victory by the score of 3-2. So they go back split going into St. Louis. If St. Louis defends home field, they win the series in 4. But at the same time, Los Angeles has to instill that confidence in them that they're going to be able to take a game on the road in St. Louis. And being here in Columbia, that'll be quite interesting. So a lot of good stuff there in baseball. You got to love October baseball. 2 one-run games, one of them lasting 18 innings and being the longest game in postseason history. That's wonderful to see. But then we got to talk about college football because this week has blown me away in general with college football. Because you already had upsets before we even entered today. Unranked Arizona beats second-ranked Oregon, and then unranked Utah State puts a whooping on 18th-ranked Brigham Young. So to start off today, East Carolina, 22nd ranked, beats SMU 45-24. Finally see some offense from SMU. Oklahoma State, 21st ranked, takes down Iowa State by 17. Okay. In the battle of just 2 bad teams in the Big Ten, Purdue takes down Illinois in Champaign 38-27. 20th ranked Ohio State, despite losing in that upset game earlier this year, has looked extremely powerful since. They beat Maryland 52-24 in Maryland. Florida tops Tennessee in a nail-biter, 10-9. I did predict Tennessee to win that game, but Florida giving themselves some leverage in the SEC East. Now we're going to get into the upsets. I felt this happening. I thought Texas A&M was a bit overrated, and they got stomped by 12th-ranked Mississippi State, 48-31. The game wasn't even as close as that. Mississippi State dominated from the second quarter on. It's a great thing to see. Really great day for the state of Mississippi. Really cool for them, and you'll definitely see Mississippi State enter the top 10. This hurts Texas A&M's chance at winning the SEC. Virginia Tech tops North Carolina 34-17. Indiana beats North Texas by a score of 49-24. Clemson destroys North Carolina State 41-0, and top-ranked Florida State leaves no trace, beating Wake Forest 43-3. 7th-ranked Baylor had actually faced a really good defense in Texas for most of the game. They pulled away late. Win in Austin, 28-7. 4th-ranked Oklahoma was shocked at TCU. 25th-ranked Horned Frogs top Oklahoma 37-33 in one of the most exciting college football games I've seen this year. Really great to see that happen. TCU loved it. 17th ranked Wisconsin gets shocked at Northwestern. Unranked Northwestern tops Wisconsin. Watch most of this game. Love to see the fans of Northwestern really get into it. This gives Wisconsin 2 losses on the year and their first Big Ten loss. Stanford got upset by Notre Dame in South Bend. Notre Dame pulls away late, wins 17-14. Notre Dame ranked 9th, and because of all the other losses in the top 10, you're probably going to see Notre Dame's rank rise a bit. 14th ranked Stanford expected to fall. 3rd ranked Alabama falls at Ole Miss, the 11th ranked team, 23-17. Another extremely exciting game throughout the whole time. Ole Miss entered the 4th quarter trailing, but they prevailed. They were able to get really good possessions on their late drives and really be able to gain momentum within the 4th quarter. Great to see that happen. The fans at Ole Miss were loving it. They rushed the field. They're celebrating, and it's going to give them an easy entrance into the top 10. West Virginia really puts a whooping on Kansas, 33-14. Oregon State tops Colorado, 36-31. 13th ranked Georgia beats Vanderbilt, 44-17 at home. Kansas State, 23rd ranked, whoops Texas Tech, 45-13. Rutgers beats Michigan in a nail biter, 26-24, the 4th loss of the year for Michigan. LSU gets destroyed by 5th ranked Auburn. LSU being 15th ranked will most likely drop out of the rankings as Auburn stops them 41-17. We're probably going to see Auburn become the 2nd ranked team in the country. Georgia Tech beats Miami of Florida 28-17. Virginia tops Pittsburgh 24-19. Arizona State upsets 16th ranked USC 38-34. You could probably kiss USC's ranking goodbye. Kentucky upsets South Carolina 45-38. This effectively removes any chance for South Carolina to win the SEC East. That gives them 3 losses within the conference. Michigan State, 10th ranked, tops 19th ranked Nebraska 27-22. Good day for the Spartans. And Utah upsets 8th ranked UCLA 30-28. Utah was unranked, so that's huge. UCLA gets upset at home. It's just another big upset. And then California beats Washington State in an insane 60-59 game. So let's look at the top 10. The following teams lost. 2nd ranked Oregon, 3rd ranked Alabama, 4th ranked Oklahoma, 6th ranked Texas A&M. Then you go to 8th ranked UCLA. That's a lot of teams within the top 10 losing. 1st ranked Florida State won. Then you're able to see 5th ranked Auburn wins, 7th ranked Baylor, 9th ranked Notre Dame, 10th ranked Michigan State won. So big shuffle coming up in the rankings probably helps my native Missouri Tigers. So for the predictions that we have going forward into tomorrow, let's see what we got. Unfortunately, there will not be college football tomorrow, but I'll run through our NFL games, which will be the main focus for any Sunday during the fall and early winter. So for your NFL predictions for tomorrow, because we know that we're all excited for a good football Sunday, Oakland and Miami have the bye week this week. Our only basis so far for this week was the Green Bay Minnesota game. So let's see what else we have coming up here. Bears Panthers, I got to go with Carolina in this game. Despite the Bears being 2-0 away from home, Carolina really needs a bounce back game, and what better opportunity to do it than against the Bears, who struggled awfully against Green Bay. Browns Titans, I'm going to go with Cleveland. They haven't looked all that bad, although Jake Locker is supposed to return for this game.
You pumped up our wallets with the discount
And I apologize for that, but commercials like to butt in on me. Rams Eagles, I got to go with the Philadelphia Eagles recover from their loss against San Francisco 49ers. They should improve to 4-1 and 3-0 at home. Falcons Giants, I'm going to go with Atlanta winning away from home for the first time this year. Buccaneers Saints, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay in this game. They had a great miracle comeback in last week's game against Pittsburgh. They're looking to build momentum off of that, hopefully improve for their 1-3 start. Texans Cowboys, both teams 3-1. I'm going to go with Houston here. looking to exploit the weaknesses of Tony Romo. Bills, Lions, Detroit is in the driver's seat in the NFC North. I look to them to take advantage of that. I say they win this game. Ravens, Colts, I'm going to go with Indianapolis. Going to try and move on from their 2-2 start. Andrew Luck has looked outstanding with 13 touchdown passes this year. Steelers, Jaguars, I think Pittsburgh bounces back from their heartbreaking loss at home against Tampa Bay. They're going to win this game. Cardinals, Broncos, I think Arizona stays undefeated. They're going to shock the Broncos in Denver. Stanton hasn't been necessarily a great quarterback so far, but we're looking for help across the board, and it looks like that's what they're getting. Chiefs, 49ers, I'm going to go with San Francisco. They started to look a lot like the San Francisco we're used to last week. I think you're going to see that continue. Colin Kaepernick, only 6 touchdowns so far, but I think you're going to be able to see him extend his passing game a bit more with the weapons he has on the field, namely in Anquan Boldin. Jets, Chargers, I'm going to go with San Diego. They look like a new team and maybe the dark horse to win the AFC West. And Bengals, Patriots tomorrow night, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. New England does not look like the New England that we're used to seeing. So unfortunately for the New England Patriots, it does not look like they'll be able to pull away in that game. So in other news, while I must continue, let's just take a look at what baseball we have tomorrow, as we have to look forward to any bit of playoff baseball, which is always fun. So the thing is, you're looking at Game 3s happening tomorrow. They're very intense, especially when both teams facing these Game 3s are going to be down. Going to be down 2-0. So basically, it'll be a bit rough for the teams that have to rebound from 2 losses to start off a series. But it should be by no means insurmountable. So let's start to take a look at the MLB for tomorrow. Both all the NL teams get a day off, and it's a day off that a team like the Washington Nationals really need. They're going to go to San Francisco. They're going to have to try and frame a comeback. It's going to be difficult because San Francisco, a team that sells out a lot of their home games, it's going to be really tough for them to win in that environment, especially when they've won 10 straight postseason games, which is really a phenomenal accomplishment in its own. That dates back to their 2012 run. So it's going to be hard to beat the exciting day in postseason baseball that we had today. We had great performances by Zach. How about Zach Greinke today? 7 innings pitched. He only allowed 2 hits within that time and no earned runs, but 2 batters after he left. Matt Carpenter made some noise in that game. Obviously, Jordan Zimmerman was the pitcher of the day. It's always really good to see those improvements, and it's always just good to see playoff baseball in its best form. But we got 2 games going on tomorrow, both of which will happen, and we could see our first eliminations of the division series happen tomorrow. At 3:45 p.m. Eastern, 2:45 p.m. Central, we have the Orioles and the Tigers in Detroit. Bud Norris and David Price. The Tigers are going to turn to David Price, the 3rd out of 3 Cy Young Award winners that they have in this rotation. Hopefully for the Tigers that they can rebound in this game. And I'm going to say that they do. I think David Price will lead them to a victory. I think the Tigers are going to make this interesting. They've been the playoffs. They've been division champions 4 straight years. I don't think they're going to go down that easy. Angels, Royals in Kansas City. James Shields, C.J. Wilson, arguably one of the best pitching matchups we've seen in the postseason so far. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals, and I believe that the campus of the University of Missouri will go crazy. James Shields pitched phenomenally up until the later innings in the wildcard game. I think he'll be dealing against this Angels team. C.J. Wilson, his first time in the playoffs. That's going to be great to see as well. So overall, it'll be very exciting. That's all I have for the Dorm Report today. There was a lot of action today. Hopefully, I'll be getting better recording equipment pretty soon. But if not, I guess I'll just have to stomach with what I have now. But anyways, this is a Dorm Report live from Excellence Hall in Columbia, Missouri. Good night, and we will see you tomorrow night with recaps on more exciting games.